If makeup is confusing for you, you don't know what to put where, you don't know what goes next, and you just can't get the perfect natural glam, class is in session. I'm about to check you into my beauty hotel, and by the time you check out, you will be an expert. Let's go. Thank you for staying at the Beauty Hotel, where we specialize in the two-phase makeup method. Here is our welcome pamphlet. It'll walk you through everything you need to know. We like to break up the makeup process into a wet and a dry phase. This makes things easier to understand, and it ensures you don't miss a beat. Phase 1 consists of all your wet products. This includes any cream or liquid complexion product, such as foundation or concealer. Phase 1 is broken down into 4 steps to further simplify the process. Phase 2 is designed to directly mirror each product in Phase 1. Phase 2 includes all of your dry products, also known as your powders. These include setting powder, blush, and bronzer, and foundation powder. By using this system, you will begin to understand how to layer and apply your makeup like a pro. Let's give you a real life example. So what does this look like in real life? Let's do a real life example. First, we're going to start with our foundation. This is step 1 of the wet phase. Our foundation is going to give us an even base so that we can start layering our products. We're going to take our foundation on a flat brush and we're going to paint it on the face. We're going to start in the areas that need the most coverage and then just work our way around the face. This is going to help us control the amount of product that we have on our face, making sure that nothing gets cakey or overloaded. Once we have our product placed down, we're then going to go in with the foundation brush and begin blending out our foundation. So we're just using tapping motions, lightly just working everything into the skin. We're not dragging, we're not sweeping. This is going to help us build coverage and get a seamless finish. If you have any areas that still need to be covered, this is when you're going to go in and add a little more foundation only on those areas. Moving along to step 2 in our wet phase is bronzing. So we're going to use a cream bronzer to create dimension back in our face. Our foundation gave us an even playing field, but now we want to make some of our features pop and we want to warm up the face. So we're going to do that with a cream bronzer. I'm also going to take this flat brush that I just wiped off a little bit to apply my cream bronzer. Once again, this is giving me precision and it's giving me control. So we're going to place this on the areas where we want a little more warmth on our face. And that is typically in the areas that the sun is going to hit first, the areas that you're going to tan, that you're going to get a little more warm if you're naturally out in the sun. So we hit the forehead. And I always like to warm up the cheeks. So we're going to go directly on the cheekbone. Rule of thumb, you can find the top of your ear and come down diagonally toward the center of your face. Now, we don't want to go past the eye, so we're going to keep it right here on the outside of the face because we're going to add light to the center of the face. We're going to do the same on the other side. To balance out my face, I always like to add a little bit of bronzer down here. This is going to create a light channel down here that is going to elongate the shape of my face. And when it comes to the nose, we're going to take a fan brush and just carve out this socket right here by the eye, by the nose. I'm going to start at the front of my brow and just come right alongside the nose. This is creating dimension between these two areas. It's making your nose pop off of your face so it doesn't just look like your features are flat. So we have our product placed where we want it. Now we just blend it out. We're going to use the same tapping motions like we did with our foundation to just go ahead and pack that product on, blend it out in the place that we want it, and we're going to get a seamless finish. Now that we have that blended out, let's do a recap. We added the foundation to the face that gave us an even canvas to layer our products on top of. Then we went ahead and added a cream bronzer to warm up the face, bring life back into the skin, and to add dimension to make our features pop. Next, we're going to go in with a little bit of liquid blush to add some color to the face. So I like a more lifted effect when it comes to my blush. So I am going to place my blush just right above where I placed my bronzer. I placed my bronzer right on my cheekbone and I did it in a diagonal. And I'm gonna do the same with my blush, just up about a centimeter. To blend out our blush, you guessed it, we're gonna use the same tapping motions to blend everything in. We're just gonna go directly on top of the product and use a light pressure to blend everything into the skin. Now that that's all blended out, we're moving on to the fourth step in phase one. This is the step where we add light back to the face. So we're gonna do that using a concealer. You can use one concealer that is close to your skin tone for a natural look, or you can use two. The second one will be a brightening concealer. This is how I place my concealer. If you look at me, you can see there are certain areas on my face that reflect the light the best. Those are gonna be the areas that are protruding from my face the most. Those are the areas that naturally catch the light. And they're often the areas in your T-zone that are a little smoother because they have oil glands, so it reflects light better. So we're gonna follow the light. I'm gonna use the light to place my concealer. If I turn my head like this, you see there are certain areas that reflect the light the best, and that is where I am going to place my concealer. So we have the center of the forehead right here, the bridge of the nose, and then I want to bring light to the center of my face, so I'm going to place it here, coming down the side of the nose, and we're going to do the same on the other side. And follow these areas. To balance out the face, we're coming down here. This is the light channel that I was talking about. The eye goes where the light is. So that is why we are creating focus. And just like we did with the brush, just like we did with the bronzer and the blush, we pulled it up. We're gonna do the same with the light or the concealer. To blend out your concealer, guess what? You're gonna take your concealer brush and you're gonna do those same tapping motions. If you didn't know, I run a beauty hotel, and we always have two guests every time we're working at the beauty hotel, phase one and phase two. Phase one is our first guest. She always makes a little bit of a mess, so we have to go and clean up before we check in our second guest, phase two. So we have to have a cleanup crew. But luckily, our cleanup crew stays around and does a little housekeeping before we go to phase two. So we are going to use our tools from phase one to do a little bit of housekeeping and blending before we move on to phase two and check in our guests. But the thing is, we're not going to add any more products. These brushes are synthetic brushes and they hold product. So we're going to use a little bit of the product that's left in the brush to get a nice even blend. First person that comes in for the cleanup crew is the foundation brush. Her job is to make sure that our forehead is blended, our chin is blended, in any area that has open foundation, meaning any area that does not have any other product layered on top of it. So we're going to take her and we're going to find the line of demarcation between two different products, and we're going to tap on that line. And she is going to make sure that everything is turned down. She's going to make sure that the sheets are changed, and she's going to make sure that everything is beautiful for phase two to come in. Just like that. Our second brush that's going to come in and do some work is the bronzer. We're just going to make sure that the bronzer is still there and that it didn't get lost. So we're going to go over the areas on the cheeks where the bronzer may have gotten lost. Our next person that comes in and cleans up, you guessed it, is the blush. We're just going to make sure that she's still there. We don't want her to lose out and miss out on getting her chance to shine on the face, because the concealer might have taken over just a little bit when it comes to her. So she needs to just come back and make sure that you can see that she participated in the group project. And last but not least, the concealer brush, just in case she needs a little cleanup. Phase one is complete. Our cleanup crew came in, cleaned everything up, and got it ready for phase two, which is our dry phase. If you didn't know, this is kind of like a couples thing as well. So phase one is partner number one, and phase two is the partner number two. They like to sleep separately, but they all work together. Our first order of business when we get phase two through the door is to set our concealer. I don't know if you know anything about concealer, but she's a little needy. She's a little codependent, and she might crack under pressure if her partner's not there. So we got to make sure that her partner comes in, checks in, gets settled in. So our partner is going to be our loose setting powder. So we're going to set any area that we concealed with a loose setting powder. When it comes to our loose setting powder, we like to kind of ease it in. Less is more. You start with less and then you build up to more. So we're going to go back in, make sure that our concealer is looking how we want it to. Tap out any creases if you have any. And then we're going to take a powder puff and we're going to very lightly set that concealer in place, okay? You want to make sure that you are setting the powder on top of the concealer, not pressing into the concealer and mixing the two. And we're just going to make sure that all that powder is worked into the skin. No rush. Take your time. This is the beauty hotel where only fairy baby princesses stay. We're not beating our face, literally, maybe figuratively, but not literally. Okay, look at that. This is how you get people to come and stay at your hotel again. You give them amazing service. You're going to get that kind of service every single time if you set your under eye like this. Step one in phase two is complete. We set all of our areas that we concealed with a corresponding loose powder. Now we're going to move on to step two. What was step two in our first phase? It was bronzer. It was cream bronzer. Now we're going to use a powder bronzer. And guess where we're going to put that powder bronzer? Right on top of where we place the creams. It's so easy. Phase one lays out the roadmap. Phase two, you just follow it and you're on your way to a beautiful face. And in the same motion, we're just applying that bronzer wherever we applied those creams. With phase two, we're just reinforcing all of those products. We're setting them in place so they last longer, and we're doubling down so that they pop and so that you can see all your hard work that you put in. Step two in phase two was so easy and so quick. We're moving right along to step three, which is blush. Where did we place our cream blush? Right here. So guess where we're going to place our powder blush? Right here. Take your powder blush and guess what? Use those same tapping motions just to stamp that blush in place. So we started off with phase two. We needed to reinforce and set everything in phase one. First went in with a little bit of loose setting powder to lock in that needy concealer. Then we followed up with a bronzer, exactly where we placed our liquid or cream bronzer. And then we followed up with a blush, exactly where we placed our liquid or cream blush. The only thing left is foundation. So just like we did the liquid foundation and we used that to blend out those areas on the face, we're going to do the same with the powder foundation. This is going to be our final step in phase two, just adding everything and blending. We're going to get our brush and we're just going to set the remaining areas of the face. Any area that doesn't have any other product on it, any layered product, or you can use this to kind of blur out some things. Say you went too hard with the blush or the bronzer. You can use this foundation shade because it is your neutral shade, right? It is your even playing field to kind of diffuse some of those other products. And for an added bonus, just to make sure everything is extra blended, we're going to take just a little bit of loose powder and go under the eyes and go over the blush just a little bit to make sure that it's kind of looking like it's a part of the team. Set it with your favorite setting spray, finish with a brow and a lip, and there you have it. I'll be right back. There we have it. Phase one, phase two complete. We successfully checked in and checked out all of our guests at the beauty hotel. Is your beauty hotel booming? this was just a fun way to kind of reframe your brain and how you look at makeup. This is how I look at makeup. This is how I think about makeup and phases and everything like that. It's really a strategy. And once you come up with your own strategy, I mean, you're just going to take off, okay? I really, 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 really want you guys to learn how to do your makeup this year. It is important to me. It means a lot to me. And I just think it's so fun, and I have so much joy teaching, learning, playing in makeup, and I want you to feel those same feelings. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Did this help? Did you enjoy it? As always, I love you so much, and I'll see you later.